Hi all, Brad Wright from the Single Malt Whisky Club here, and what a couple of sensationally scrumptious Scottish spirits for your dramming pleasure this Halloween. Sorry about that. In fact, we've got two whiskies only available in Australia through the Single Malt Whisky Club. Our Malt of the Month is a single cask 2016 Dalmunach from Scottish indie bottling giants Duncan Taylor. And after last month's unprecedented interest in the Cu Bocan 15-year-old, our Members Extra is another Single Malt Whisky Club exclusive from this peated powerhouse. The Cu Bocan 12-year-old Caribbean Rum Cask. So if you like it peated or unpeated, we have a whiskey for you this month. Now, Dalmunach is a relatively young distillery, especially for Scotland. I think its first batch coming out of the stills in 2015. Owned by the 𝗲�㑫𝒄𝒂𝒏 brothers, this distillery has an amazing output of around 10 million litres annually. But pretty much none of that is bottled as single malt whiskey under the distillery's name. The closest I can come to finding an actual distillery bottling was by the 𝗲𝒫 brothers, is as part of their distillery reserve collection, which was a 4-year-old. So all but a dribble of Dalmunach's wonderful spirit goes into such blends as Chivas Regal, Ballantine's, 100 Pipers, and Royal Salute, to name a few. The Dalmunach style it's light, it's fruity, it's floral, which makes it perfect for balancing out heavier malts and providing those lighter top notes in these blends. With so much of the Dalmunach spirit being used in blended whiskey, we're fortunate that some indie bottlers like Duncan Taylor are able to snag limited quantities before it's blended away. And this month's Malt of the Month is just that, an indie bottling of an 8-year-old Dalmunach single cask with a 9-month finish in Duncan Taylor's superb Octave program. So the Octave program involves finishing the whiskey in small Octave casks of around 70 litres capacity. So these Octaves are hand-selected French oak casks whose smaller size, hence larger surface to area ratio, means more interaction between the spirit and the wood, speeding up the finishing time for the whiskey. The Duncan Taylor Dalmunach 2016 8-year-old is a single ex-bourbon cask, number 19843,869 from memory, matured for 8 years at the distillery, then split into the smaller French oak ex-sherry Octave casks and finished for these for a further 9 months before being remarried and bottled exclusively for the Single Malt Whisky Club at a delicious 46% ABV. Nearly forgot to mention, this has been bottled in 750ml bottles, so an extra dram than usual per bottle, which is joy. Yeah, it is, it's joy. So how does it taste? Well, spoiler, really good. There it is. You know, not too dark, not too light. On the nose, oh, fresh grated Granny Smith apples, mixed peel and marmalade. And there's a lovely, lovely floral note drifting over the top. Palate. Oh, deliciously viscous mouthfeel. There's a warmth there that builds, but it's not prickly. It's not pepper or ginger. It's really mellow warmth. Lovely minced fruit notes. There's a dash of Werther's Original. And a pinch, more than a pinch really, of vanilla there too. The finish, it's a medium body but lengthy finish. Still going. Fruit cakey with all the spices on top of baked apple, caramel. That delightful gentle warmth that lingers right through like embers. I just love the combination of flavours that this Octave program imparts on ex-bourbon matured whiskies. All the fruitcake you could want from a sherry finish, but with those deep-seated vanillas and floral and citrus notes that, to me, just add those delightful sort of top notes. The gentle warmth that goes through this right to the end makes it delightful on the palate as well. It's a fantastic whiskey that won't overpower first timers. It's very easy to drink, but we'll give those whiskey geeks lots to discuss over a dram or three. Yum. Excuse me, it's getting hot here in Queensland again. Now, last month we ran the Cu Bocan 15-year-old sherry cask as our malt of the month. And due to a completely unprecedented demand, we actually ran short. We're sorry to those members affected. As a small piece of luck, though, we were able to offer the members that missed out on the 15-year-old an alternative exclusive Cu Bocan that we ran last year, the Cu Bocan 12-year-old Caribbean Rum Cask. We've got a few more bottles of this left, so we thought it was a pretty good opportunity to run this as a members extra for those who wanted to try another Cu Bocan. So Cu Bocan is the once-a-year peated side project of the Tomunton distillery. The 12-year-old Caribbean Rum Cask, batch 1, was made from lightly peated Scottish barley, initially matured in ex-bourbon American oak casks, finished for 9 months in casks from an unnamed rum distilleries from Guyana and Barbados. So I'm thinking Diamond Distillery and Foursquare casks perhaps, and bottled at 46% ABV. This is the very first batch of this delicious whiskey, and it's exclusive in Australia to the Single Malt Whisky Club. So I've unfortunately just discovered that I've got none of this little beauty left myself, so I'm going to have to defer to last year's tasting. On the nose, at first there's a musty malt aroma, but a definite hint of Caribbean rum funk there as well, with a sweet, overripe tropical fruit salad sort of note. There's hot summer nights jasmine flowers as well. And there's just a tiny pinch of sort of sweet polythene glue note right in the very peripheries there. The palate. It's really rather dry on the palate at first, with a medium ginger heat curtain. The parts, just to allow those, wow, crisp green apple notes, and there's tart sweet pineapple, candied citrus rind, and vanilla in there in spades as well. Yum. Not much of the peat on the finish. It's a rather crisp and clean finish. There's just the smallest suggestion of smoke there right at the end, but look, the fade out is really mostly all about those fruity notes again. Look, it's a peated whiskey to be sure. I mean, it says so on the label, right? But I think this is about as close to the line as a whiskey can be, still look itself in the mirror when it calls itself peated. There's certainly no burnt rubber notes. There's no hospital iodine. There's no Band-Aids, no tar, oil, or bitumen in this. So if you don't like peated whiskey, you can still love this one. It's fruity, it's crisp and clean on the palate, it's light and delicious whiskey. It's not oily, heavy, feels like getting lung cancer peated whiskey. Interestingly though, for some reason the peat effect seems to be magnified by a smoky cokey, which is a peated whiskey and coke, if that's your thing. But neat. This is as light and fruity and easy drinking a whiskey that I think is perfect now that the warm weather has seriously taken hold. It's good. Yum. Wow. Didn't I look younger back then? So, that's it for October. Boo! 2016 Dalmunach, 8-year-old from Duncan Taylor, non-peated, light, herbaceous and fruity, and a lightly peated Highlander, the Cu Bocan 12-year-old Caribbean Rum Cask. I'm Brad Wright from the Single Malt Whisky Club. Until next month, say